Ready. Yo, what's happening, people? It's your boy Michael. Welcome back to Griggs Talk, where we talk all things sports. And today, we're going to be previewing a game that most of us would have thought would be the biggest game going into the season, Liverpool versus Man City. But now it could potentially be Liverpool's funeral. Who knows? Never know. Some people saying that Erling Haaland's going to pull up like Brock Lesnar to break Van Dyke's Undertaker streak at Anfield. That's what some people are saying.
I didn't know about this streak,
That's what I'm saying. You never know. But obviously, to preview this game, I had to bring one of my good friends from YouTube, from our good friends at Never a Foul, one of the best city content creators and one of the best content creators out there. The channel just hit 5K. I just saw that.
Yeah,
MCFC Daps. How you doing, my guy?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, busy day. Busy day with a lot of talk with Liverpool fans. I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous, bro. It's mad because the pressure isn't even from Liverpool fans.
It's from your fans.
It's from you. It's from you lot and Arsenal. If we don't go and beat Liverpool, yeah, then United and Arsenal fans are going to just be telling us how they managed to roll them over and why couldn't we? But I don't know. I just kind of look at. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just do this for my daughter. There you go. She loves poppadoms. I don't know if I can show her. There she is. See?
How you doing?
Right. So, but yeah, it's just look, our record at Anfield up until COVID, we just couldn't win there. We couldn't even get a draw there. COVID season, we beat them easily, but they had won the league. The last 2 years, we've been better than them, but still only got draws. Obviously, Arsenal did exactly what I wanted them to do last weekend. Rangers started off doing what I wanted them to do, but then Rangers folded, and Rangers just, I've just been saying, I've been on a Liverpool channel, and they asked me, do I fear Salah, or am I like Arsenal fans now, like Salah's not all that? And I was like, I'm sorry, but this guy has been, alongside Kevin De Bruyne, the best player in the Premier League for the past 4 or 5 years. One of the most prolific goal scorers in the Premier League ever. Yeah. And because his season has started badly in a team whose whole season has started badly, what I'm supposed to now think that Salah's like not as good as we've thought for the last 4 or 5. I can't. And the problem is, he's just gone and bagged a hat trick. Like, that's not what you want a striker that is that prolific to go and bag a hat trick. I wanted him not to score. So there's that side of it. There's the side, there's the fear that Nunes will bag and Haaland won't again. And then it's going to be Community Shield 2.0.
That's a good point.
But that's me allowing Liverpool to get in my head. If I'm sensible and think about it, their defense looks like it could be split open by anyone. Yeah. Right? Rangers split their defense open. Their midfield looks non-existent. And we are not Glasgow Rangers. Like, we ain't going to let Harvey Elliott, like, tell me when Harvey Elliott's ever managed to do anything against City. He hasn't, right? Yeah. And that's what, our minds are powerful things. And away from football, I know how powerful my mind can be with overthinking things. But it's the same in football, that I'm overthinking it. I really am overthinking it, when the fact is Liverpool's form is poor. Liverpool were 2 goals down against Brighton, came back to be 3-2. They should have gone and the Liverpool I know, the Liverpool that were in my head, come back from 2 goals down against Brighton and end up winning 5-2. They don't come back from being 2 goals down to go 3-2 up to then concede. That's not the Liverpool that are in my head. The Liverpool that, I mean, I don't know if you've seen, but obviously Matip's out.
Yeah, Konate got banged up allegedly.
He wasn't in training for whatever
Yeah,
reason, right? Now, whether it be injury or whether it be fatigue or whether it precautionary, it doesn't matter. Even if it is precautionary, what precaution has happened that he's had to sit out training the day before one of the biggest games of your season? There must be a concern.
yeah.
But the biggest thing is for me is the fact that Haaland is going to be on the pitch.
Brock Lesnar. This guy's pulling up to break the streak. That's what I'm
And
saying.
and this is the thing, bro. When I look at why Haaland's been brought to this club, he's been brought here for specific reasons. He got brought here to score the goals that we couldn't score last year. We're already seeing that, the tap-ins. We're seeing that. The getting an extra inch on his foot to, slide in, and the amount of times that De Bruyne put those balls in last season and no one was there. Penalties. He's already stepped up and scored a penalty. Midweek, he didn't play. Mahrez took a penalty, got saved, right? Champions League, Dortmund, we didn't look all that. Haaland steps up. So then you look at Liverpool. We haven't won at Liverpool. We haven't won at Anfield since COVID, right? That's the only time we've won there. Van Dijk's never lost at Liverpool. We are the first team going to Anfield as odds-on favourites since 2004. Right? Now, we're going there with a Haaland that has no preconceptions about Anfield, just like the Champions League. He ain't got no nightmares of Chelsea in the final.
Yeah, he's only put there once.
He ain't got no nightmares of Liverpool putting us out of the Champions League. He ain't got no nightmares to do with Liverpool, full stop. To him, it's just another defender that he wants to get one over. And I just that is the thing that I have to remember. Haaland's going there. Forget the City without Haaland. I've said City without Haaland get to the semi-final of the Champions League. City with Haaland win the Champions League, right? And for me, yeah, I can't see anything but a City win when I actually think about it logically. Because Robertson will be back. He ain't had a great season.
They have no right back, technically. It's going to be Joe Gomez, maybe.
Yeah, which is good, because that means we can, I think Grealish will have Gomez on toast, to be honest with you. Yeah. But the thing is, it's just, I don't know if you've seen some of the stuff Pep said this week. Not Pep, sorry, Klopp said this week. Like, Klopp doesn't really know what's going on.
Yeah, he looks rattled. For me, it's like a lot of people keep saying the Dortmund curse, the 7-year curse of.
Yeah, I've seen that. He doesn't look tactically. He looks tactically confused.
I think he is, to be honest. He's never been the greatest tactician to start with.
It's like he had that heavy metal style of football, and now it's like adapt, and he's like, what?
Yeah, it's happened in Dortmund too. There's like a whole athletic article about it that teams just figured out, let's sit back and make him break us down, and it doesn't help that his best players are out of form.
And this is where it plays into our hands a bit. That in the summer, I was saying we Pep's being given a bigger toolbox with new tools, right? And at the moment, he's tinkering and working out how to use these new tools. Like, we played 3 at the back last week. We got 2 left-footed centre-backs, 2 right-footed centre-backs, and 1 that can play with both feet. And it's like Pep's trying out all the partnerships and whatever to try and work out which one works the best. And yeah, I think this is the thing. Someone said to me about, if City were to press Liverpool high up like we do every season, I'm like, we didn't last season. The game at Anfield, if you go back and watch it, we sat deep and we kept hitting them with balls over the top. And it was confusing them a bit because they were like, this isn't how City play. I don't know if it was at Anfield or if it was at our place, but all of a sudden,
I think it was at your place.
I think it was at our place. It was the second game. The first game, we sat back and just calmly passed the ball about at the back to try and antagonize the fans. And then at our place, we started playing random balls over the top. And it was like, we hadn't seen this before. But this is a thing now where we don't need to press high anymore. Because if we press high, where's the space for Haaland to run into? Sometimes it helps us to sit back and go, you come at us. Because that then allows space for Haaland to run in over the top and through the middle. And I think this is the thing now. We got too many tools for them. And I think the speed at which I think Pep is evolving in this league as well. Pep's actually getting better, in my opinion. He's learning.
He needs to stop. He's getting too good. I saw it against us when you guys played us. I realized because I'm never underestimating Pep again after that game, because what he did with Haaland, using him as like more of a false nine, he was dropping deep into the middle of the pitch, allowing that space for Foden.
He is, isn't it? This is the thing, bro. People, the main media outlets have their agendas, right? And this week I've seen some mad ones. Like I've seen DR Media on Wednesday say that Haaland is a doubt for the weekend. And I literally had to comment saying, what? Have you not seen the Pep interview where Pep clearly says, bit of fatigue after the Southampton game, so we're resting him as a precaution? For me, it was a firmware update.
That's why I said to rewiring the tools.
Well, they noticed he only got one against Southampton. It was a glitch. So the tech team were like, we need to give him a firmware update. Apparently now he's coming back. He's jumping higher than ever. He's creating an extra 20 miles per hour on his shots. And, you know, this firmware, Haaland 2.0 is about to be unleashed on Liverpool. But there's that. Then what was the next one I heard? I heard another one that... Okay. I heard a next one where it was said that all people are focusing now are on his contract, in it, and the fact that he's got a release clause. And I heard Talk Sports say Pep Guardiola lied and said that there was no release clause. No, what Pep said was there is not a release clause just relevant to Real Madrid. There's a release clause, but the media were trying to make out there's a release clause that says if Real Madrid come in for him, and all Pep said was no, any club can come in for him, right? But there's just this agenda against Haaland. The fact is, for me, no one wants to... Oh, and then there's the touches and all of that. Bro, you saw the pass for Foden against you. No one wants to talk on that, innit? No one wants to talk on that pass. If De Bruyne did that pass, or Trent did that pass, or Cancelo did that pass, or Bruno did that pass, or I would say, or Reece James did that pass, or Martinelli did that pass, everyone would be talking about the pass. No one wants to talk about that Haaland pass that was De Bruyne-esque, right? He's got 3 assists this season. That's 3 more than Trent. No one wants to talk on that. No one wants to talk on the fact that he's dropping deep. And against Southampton, when we're 3-0 up, he's dropping deep and winning the ball. That's giving me a heart attack because he's stretching his foot so high that I'm thinking, bro, don't risk these, pulling a muscle when we're 3-0 up against Southampton at the Etihad. No one wants to talk on any of these things. There's a reason why players like Haaland joined Man City. He's joined Man City because he had the choice to go wherever he wanted. Him and his dad had a score sheet marking everything. They've joined Manchester City to improve him as a player, right? So they know that Pep will bring more to his game. Pep's already said it. I can't teach this man how to do what he does. It's mind-blowing how he knows where the ball is going to fall. I don't even know. I don't like no one can teach that. That is some serious instinct, right? But what Pep is teaching him is about being part of a team. He's teaching him about, Pep will be saying to him, thanks for the hat trick, but, you could, at times, because the fact is, like the game against Liverpool on Sunday, the game against you lot, the game against Chelsea, the game against Arsenal, the game against certain teams, we have been so dominant in over the last few years, maybe not Liverpool so much, but still good against Liverpool is because we've had a false nine. We've had an extra player in midfield. So, Pep will have said to Haaland, by having you, we are technically losing a player in the middle of the park. So we do need you to get back and sometimes get involved. And his link-up play is good. He drops deep. He holds the ball up. He brings another player in. And then he makes his run into the box. And he's occupying people. His movement in the box is 2 of the goals last week. you could see that the defenders just did not want to close Cancelo or Foden down because they knew they're just going to, the minute we get close to him, they're just going to cut the ball back to Haaland. So I might as well float about here, ready to at least try and attempt to block the ball. So then it's like Cancelo and Foden, like, no problem. Well, we'll just run at goal and put our laces through it then, if you're not going to come to us. And that's the thing. He's occupying brains. Grealish is doing the same thing right now. Grealish is out here attracting people to him like a magnet. People, and all of a sudden, between Grealish and Haaland, 4 players have been dragged away from position. So down the left, Cancelo and Foden are having a party. Or even Grealish. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Grealish and Foden can switch over. So when I think about it, we've got to win it though. We have to. If not only I want to see Liverpool 17 points behind Arsenal, which is a madness.
That's crazy.
I just tried explaining this to a Liverpool. 17 points, bro.
With the World Cup coming up, players are gonna get injured. I know Mo Salah isn't going, but still.
17 points. 17 points. All Arsenal have to do is beat Leeds, and we beat Liverpool, and Arsenal are 17 points above Liverpool after 11 games.
Something like that. Might be even 10.
It might even be 10. It's 10 or 11 games. It's
10.
mind-boggling.
It'll be 10.
It'll be 10 after 10 games. That is insane.
Yeah. I don't know. With Liverpool, like, I spoke to, because I did a show on Grizz yesterday with the Young Bucks, and we had the City correspondent on there. He was saying 4-0 settings. He said,
who you got from City on there?
We got Hamza, Man City hardcore. That guy's the most. He rattles people a lot. He rattles us sometimes, but he's hilarious. And he was saying that we're like, get ready to wear all black next week because Liverpool are going to be putting.
Yeah, he's chesty.
Yeah, it's hilarious though, but.
Yeah, hold tight, Hamza. He is. You know what? The guy can talk the talk. He can really talk the talk.
I know he knows his football, like, because we love him because he's like the main attraction on the show because he comes in like on the.
I didn't know he was on there. I didn't know you were on there neither.
Yeah, but yeah, it was funny, but I started backing him in like the City talk because with City, like I said it after the Community Shield, I said get your licks in on Haaland now because he's gonna come eventually. The guy is just a generational player.
Do you know what? He is. There's no denying it. There really is no denying it. I think Pep's even astonished when you see Pep's reactions, when you see Pep talking on him. I think, and it's nice to see because obviously all we've ever heard is, Pep doesn't get on with strikers. He doesn't get on with egos. He doesn't get on with. But there's a few things. Firstly, Haaland has no ego.
He just wants to score goals. That's his only purpose in life.
Do you know what? He to me, like, there's one Soup's brought it up, and it's a good point. I don't know if you've ever seen where they're at a dinner, and I think De Bruyne goes to Haaland. You need to go and give a speech. And the minute he said it, I don't know if it's almost like De Bruyne's a bit like a mentor to him or something. I wouldn't be surprised at all because Foden's mentor was Silva, right? I wouldn't be surprised if Pep has some sort of mentoring thing going on with the younger players there. But when De Bruyne said you need to go and speak, this was Haaland. And just walk, and it's like a robot, right? It's like he gets given instructions, he does them, right? He doesn't question it. His job is not there to question. And I think that's kudos to his mum and dad that they raised him. Like, this is what you do. If you want to be the best, you listen to your manager. You listen to your elders. You listen to your experienced members of your team. And that's all he seems to do. He doesn't seem to have an ego.
Yeah, I think there was a point where they asked him, I think before the season started, about Pep, what he thought of him as a manager and like if he has any criticism.
He didn't want to answer it.
Like, no, he's like, he pled the fifth pretty much. He's like, I'm not going to answer the question.
Yeah. So that surprised me. But also, it's good to see that Pep can get on with strikers. Like, I think it's just, there need to be people that will listen to what he's saying. And like, I just think it's, I think him and Pep have got a proper understanding of each other. Sorry. So yeah, I've said 3-1. I think Foden will get a goal. I think Haaland will get 2. I don't know if Nunes or Salah score for them, but I think it's going to be Nunes or Salah. By the way,
I say
I don't
Nunez.
think Nunes has started the season as badly as people are making out either.
It's hilarious watching him play, but I agree. Like I knew he was gonna score against Arsenal because Arsenal fans talk too much. I'm like, this guy's gonna score on
Yeah.
you. Whether you win or not, we wouldn't know. But it was obvious he was gonna
Oh,
score
bro,
against you.
listen, I'm already looking forward to this Saliba Haaland thing because
So
all I keep getting is that Saliba can stop Haaland.
it's interesting. For me, I don't think he can because I think Holland's biggest strength is Saliba's biggest weakness, and that's runners in behind. And there is no better striker running in behind than Erling Haaland because he wins the ball. Even if he falls down, he gets back up and he runs in a 40-yard dash right to the box. I've never seen anything like it. He's astonishing me. And I think I've defended him a lot, even to United fans, because like he's not your most aesthetically pleasing like player, obviously. But for me, as a striker, if you're efficient, that's all that matters to me. Get the ball in the goal. And then for me, I compared him to Ruud van Nistelrooy in a way. I don't think he's as elegant as Ruud, but just the way the poaching instinct. Like Holland.
Do you know what Steve said exactly the same thing at the Forest game? He said to me, we were in the stand about at halftime. He said, honestly, I've never seen anyone in the box come alive as much as the last person I've seen come alive like this guy is Van Nistelrooy. It's just scary how they know where to be, right? And the connection, his connection always seems right. He's just, you know what? It's one of them ones where when we bought him, I liked the shithousery that we bought him. I didn't realize he was this good.
I have this question for you. Is he the best player you've ever seen in City, or is he the most dominant player?
He's the most efficient player. The best? Nah, he's not the best. Best is an interesting way of wording it. But for me, I mean, Georgie King-Cladze technically was just unbelievable.
I meant more like in this era of City, like the last 10 years.
For me, it's always going to be David Silva, man. Someone asked earlier and they didn't put the question to me, but I saw it in the comments, David Silva or Kevin De Bruyne. And I have massively always been David Silva. I'm still David Silva, but I feel I will have to take a month out of my life when De Bruyne leaves us or retires to really deep that question, because I don't know, De Bruyne's numbers are insane.
I've even given up to the fact that he's going to retire as the best Premier League midfielder of all time. I've given up. I've accepted that fact. It's going to be.
I think
obvious.
He has to. Do you know what? It's an interesting one, because it depends who you ask. There's going to be a core group that will be like, if you don't win no Champions League, we ain't hearing it. But that same core won't hear that Gerrard never won a Premier League, right? There'll be a core that says about goals scored. I mean, assist-wise, the guy's a monster. Until I started doing football content, I didn't even realise it was a conversation between Gerrard, Lampard, and Scholes. For me, Scholes was levels above the other two. But apparently, the other two are levels above him, according to football Twitter. And but for me, that baffles me. I can't lie. I think Scholes was a level above both of them. I think Scholes was. I wouldn't put Gerrard and Lampard in a conversation with Zidane, but I'd put Paul Scholes in a conversation with Zidane. But De Bruyne, I think the key with De Bruyne is that I'd rather we just wait and see. But as far as efficiency-wise, as far as superstar, it's Haaland.
Yeah, I think the superstar. I think he is like the first like real super. I know Grealish was supposed to be like in terms of the English eyes because he was
worlds
popular.
apart. Worlds
Holland
apart.
is
Worlds
that
apart.
superstar, and
Haaland is a Galactico.
He is, and it's good. He will eventually go Madrid. I don't think.
I think he will as well. Do you know what? This is the thing. This is something that people seem to be using to try and rattle City fans. He's got a release clause on his contract. I'd be shocked if someone like Erling Haaland didn't have a release clause on his contract, right? We bought him for what, 65 million? His release clause is 200 million, right? No problem. No problem. Look, when Pep signed for us, we got told he was staying for 2 years. He's now in his 7th year, right? Tell me players that have left City and tell me players that have stayed at City since they joined us. Aguero, David Silva, Yaya Toure till we let and remember, most of these are when we let them go, not when they say, no, I want to leave. If you actually look at players that have pushed to leave Manchester City, James Milner on a free contract because he wasn't getting in the team enough. Ferran Torres, hold that. Right. Who else is there that's left? Leroy Sane.
Yeah.
Reportedly, it was
Fine.
pushed by his family, not him.
Yeah, German tax. And everything.
Who else is there? Bernardo Silva, after giving several years, that's fine. That very much looks like it's a family move. But if Haaland wants to go in 2 years' time, no problem. Like, he's been brought in for a reason. I don't think he will, by the way. I don't think he'll go after 2 years. 2 years, he'll be 24. I think he'll go when the time's right. I do believe Haaland will leave, and I think you're right. I do think one day Haaland will play for Real Madrid. The only thing with 2 years, maybe he might see it as, Benzema's gone. I'll go and be Benzema replacement. But if we get 2 years out of him, that's 2 years. 2 years more than any other Premier League team. So I don't know how that becomes bragging rights to any other team.
For me, I look at it this way. First, especially if he doesn't win the Champions League, he won't leave in the next 2 years.
I think that as well. I think he was. Do you know what as well? The guy listens to his dad, and I think his dad wants him to win. His dad is at every game. His dad is in with the away fans. Yeah, I think his dad wants him to win Manchester City a Champions League. Because if we win the Champions League this season or next season, let me be clear. Everyone is saying that's because of Haaland. Everyone is saying that, yeah. His weekly wage at Real Madrid is going to be insane. The other thing, someone asked me the other day, if we win the Champions League this season or next season, who gets the Ballon d'Or?
This season will be hard because of the World Cup, and he's not in it. So I think that kind of eliminates him.
Very true. That's a good point.
If you win it the year after, so 23-24, if you win the Champions League, so you'll probably win the Premier League too. I said this. He wins the Ballon d'Or before Mbappe.
Here's the thing, though. Someone said to me, if we win the Champions League this season, who would win the Ballon d'Or? De Bruyne or Haaland? And I said, do you know what? I would love it to be De Bruyne. Yeah, because I think De Bruyne deserves it. But it'll be Haaland, bro. Because if we win look how many goals Haaland's already scored in the Champions League. If we go to the final and win the final, how many more goals is Haaland going to score? There's nothing De Bruyne can do unless I'm completely wrong and we get to the final without Haaland scoring many more goals and De Bruyne is scoring weldy after weldy after weldy. It's going to be Haaland because he's joined us and we've won Diaz joined us. We won the league. Diaz got player of the season. Now, I'm not saying he didn't deserve player of the season, but there was a lot of other good players that season for City. But he joined us and changed our whole defense. So if Haaland joins us and we win the Champions League, he's gonna be the guy everyone talks about. And then I think you're right. If he wins us a Champions League, and I can tell you now on behalf of every single Manchester City fan, right? If we win the Champions League and Haaland opts in 2 years' time to leave, there is not one Manchester City fan that will not give him a round of applause every single time we play Real Madrid, right? And will happily let him go. Because if he's that guy that's come back to where his dad used to play and helped us to lift the Champions League, then you know what? I get it. I get why anyone would want to go and play for Real Madrid. I think that's why Jesus has gone to Arsenal. I think Jesus has gone to Arsenal because long term, deep down, Jesus, like most Brazilian kids, wants to play for Real Madrid or Barcelona. And
it was this to be fair this year because if it wasn't for Vinicius' Spanish passport not coming in, Jesus would have been at Real Madrid. They were going to sign him. He wasn't going to go Arsenal. So he was close to his dream.
And I think now it's a case of if he stays at City, maybe he won't get that move again. If he goes Arsenal, I mean, let's be real right now. 100% Jesus is on the radars of Barcelona and Real Madrid right now. Was he last season? Maybe not at City. Was he doing enough at City to be on their radars? Maybe, maybe not. Right now, he most definitely is on every club in Europe's radars because although as players we're looking at technical stuff and we're looking at the goals scored and all of that, recruitment teams also look at mentality. And this man's just walked into a club and changed the mentality. Like Barcelona, they need that right now. They need a Jesus. And especially with Lewandowski, kind of what they're going to get a season, maybe 2 at best out of him.
It's interesting because every top striker that wants to play for Real Madrid is looking at Benzema as he's almost done. He has maybe another 2 years at the top level, so it is a dream come true for them. I think with Haaland, it's people. If anyone hears this, they might come at me. At the stage that he is right now in terms of superstar status, it's kind of like Ronaldo at United, where you know that he's destined for greater things. Like you know that he's like. I think Rio Ferdinand said it. They all knew that Ronaldo was going to Real Madrid one day. It was gonna happen. Yeah. Haaland's at that stage. Haaland's the biggest superstar in the Premier League right now. If he's in a way, you're not the face of it because there's other people, but he's like the most sought out after player because he's gonna be leading the new generation with Kylian Mbappe. And you're already seeing people turn on Mbappe for Haaland because Haaland came to the Prem. He's got the fans.
You know what? I've just literally looked at my phone and seen 2 hours ago, DR Media, Madrid not considering new move for Mbappe.
Yeah, Florentino's a very stubborn guy. It won't happen this year. That's for sure. Mbappe messed up because Florentino won't even consider him until after Benzema leaves now.
Yeah. Well, but then, boy, that's interesting. That is interesting.
It will be interesting because I always thought that Mbappe and Haaland will play together at Real Madrid, but now I'm reconsidering it to the fact that I think Florentino Perez will only go after one, and it might be Haaland. Because Haaland's popularity is through the roof right now. And if you win the Champions League with City, that's your legacy. That is the legacy right there. You deliver.
Yeah. You win a team of champ. Look, awkward conversation. Grizz tried to have it and got shot down. But you have to listen to the exact words. Neymar has underachieved. Now, that's not me saying Neymar is not an unbelievable footballer. That's not me saying that Neymar has been bad. It's simply me saying Neymar for Neymar right now has underachieved. Now, if PSG win the Champions League this season and Neymar sets the world alight in November in the World Cup, I will completely take back what I just said about Neymar underachieving. Right? It's the same with Haaland. If City win the Champions League, that's it. The guy's legacy is there at the age of 23. He's gone to a club that has spent millions and dominated British football, but not got over the line in Europe. If the season Haaland joins us, we win the Champions League. That's his legacy done, isn't it? He's won the Champions League. He'll get the Ballon d'Or in my opinion. Do you know what? That would be interesting. That would be... Obviously, if someone comes through and has an absolute amazing World Cup, maybe not. But if someone doesn't completely set the World Cup alight and Haaland and City continue as they are in the league, win the league and win the Champions League, Haaland could get the Ballon d'Or this year without being part of the World Cup.
I think for the World Cup, it's like I think only specific players can get it from the World Cup. I think Messi can get if Messi wins the World Cup, he'll get it because it's Messi.
100%.
It's a guarantee. Yeah. It's a guarantee. Ronaldo won't even if he wins the World Cup. I don't think he won't be good enough at Man United.
Not enough in domestic football. Mbappe could.
Kevin De Bruyne. This is an interesting one. He said Kevin De Bruyne if Man City win. This is a comparison again. Luka Modric and Ronaldo in 2018, and now you have Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland. Ronaldo put up all the stats for Real Madrid, and he flopped. He won top scorer at the World Cup, but he flopped out in the round of 16. Luka Modric went to the World Cup final. Yeah, that's what got him the Ballon d'Or in the end. If Man City win a Champions League and a Premier League, and Kevin De Bruyne takes Belgium to a World Cup final, I think Kevin De Bruyne will win the
Yeah,
Ballon
I hear
d'Or.
you. I just don't see that happening. Not with
Oh, Belgium
no,
stink.
not
Belgium
with
stink.
Belgium.
They're not going to the
Not
World
with
Cup. But
Belgium. But
it's interesting with the World Cup.
yeah, I think Neymar could get the Ballon d'Or this year. I think Neymar looks like I think Neymar could have an unbelievable World Cup.
I think for me, he needs to throw the UCL out his head with PSG. Get that out of your head. The World Cup for me is the legacy. I said that he's the most important player at this World Cup. Forget
And
Messi. The last
he
dance.
hasn't had an amazing World Cup, has he?
2018, no, 2018 he was the most hated player at the World Cup because of all the diving
Yeah.
and everything. He was
Then
the
was
most
it
hated.
the one before that? Did he get injured?
Yeah, that's the one where he broke his vertebrae.
So he needs to. It's sad. It's mad to say it. This could be his last World Cup,
No, he said it is. He doesn't want to play another one.
which is so mad. To say this is Neymar's last World Cup is crazy because it only seems like yesterday that Neymar was playing in the Olympics in London, like as a little kid, right? So, but yeah, Neymar really could have. I think Neymar to me looks like this season. He looks like a man that's come of age. He looks like someone that's realized in his head, I haven't got long left in my career, and there's certain things I want to achieve in my career. He just looks more determined than he looks more happy. He looks genuinely more happy than he's maybe ever been. Like he just looks content, but he looks like someone on a mission. I could see him really having, but again, you're spot on with Messi. If Messi could secure, I mean, I don't know who's winning the debate between Ronaldo and Messi right now.
It's Messi. Ronaldo's become from overrated to underrated in terms of all time debates because they're slandering him for being 38.
Either way, if PSG win the Champions League and Argentina lift the World Cup, Messi's God status.
He even needs to win the UCL. I think it's just the World Cup. He won a Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, he doesn't need to, but PSG ain't won it yet.
Oh, I don't think they will. First of all, they're that team is in disarray right now. Mbappe, Saga, Neymar, Messi.
I hear you.
Mbappe,
But only a few weeks ago, it wasn't.
They were the favorites. It's interesting how quick football can change in that aspect.
Anyway, as for back to us in Liverpool,
yeah,
I can't see Liverpool. I do worry about their front three, but I don't feel a front three can function fully correctly if they don't have confidence in what's behind them, and I don't think they've got confidence in what's behind them right now.
Jordan Henderson hype.
Huh?
Jordan Henderson hype. Everyone, that guy's the people on Twitter. I keep showing Liverpool fans too. I say that's your greatest ever captain. You should respect them.
And he is.
He is the greatest ever captain. That's all I'm saying.
The most decorated captain.
Most decorated captain and everything. But nah, I mean, Jordan Henderson is really the most hated person on Twitter right now by the Scousers. But I agree. I just don't think. I think Liverpool will go all out to it. This is their most important game. This is more important to them than Man United this season because they need to get.
They have to. Look, that 17 point mark between them and Arsenal is absolutely insane.
How much would they go behind us? If we win and they lose, we go 8 points clear of them. We're bad. We're not even that good yet.
I just can't believe that Van Dijk's never lost at home.
Only the Premier League. He's lost in Champions League. He lost to Atletico.
Yeah, so but even in the Premier League, it just shocked me a bit. But
it's because the COVID year he was out, so he avoided the. That's why.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Forget about that. That's true.
He would have. I think even if Van Dijk was healthy, they would have lost in the Premier League with no fans at home eventually. But he got away with it, so the record still stands. But like I said, Holland's Brock Lesnar, Van Dijk's Undertaker. Holland even looks like Brock Lesnar a little bit. They're Norwegian, everything. He's coming to break the record, and Holland's gonna, like Hamza said, it's gonna be 4-0. It won't be 4-0, but I predicted City 2-1. I think I said Holland brace, and Nunez gets one because he knows how to get goals. That's one credit I'll give that guy.
So you think 2-1 City?
Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take anything. I'll take a win. I just want to win. 3 points. Keep it moving.
Yeah, I need you guys to. I need you guys to step it up because I can't be having Arsenal win the Premier League. I'm not allowing.
I ain't winning the Premier League.
Not allowing.
The one thing I would say is, whether we win this or draw this or lose this don't impact our title challenge. Or our title. I don't even want to call it a challenge. Our title defense. I don't think this. I can't see much impacting City's title defense until February. Because we just know how to turn it on then. That even if, you know what, I almost think it would be funny to let Arsenal have an 8-point gap on us, a 9-point gap on us, even a 10-point gap on us, because they don't know what they're getting themselves in for. They don't know what a title race with Manchester City and Pep Guardiola looks like, feels like, the pressure every 3 days. They don't know what that feels like. They're going to crumble. I'm telling you now, Arteta will already be worried that he has to play City twice between January and May.
Yeah, I forgot that game was meant to be this week too.
Yeah.
That's
So
unlucky for Arsenal. But yeah, they're getting a little too big for their boots. I'm having Bilal tell me that Arsene Wenger was better than Fergie and everything. They're getting too chesty over there in North London.
what are they basing that on?
Wenger played better football and Ferguson paid the rest. That's what it is. Same with the Paul Scholes debate. I tried to bring me and Hamza brought up Paul Scholes when they asked us about Lampard. Actually, no, Paul Scholes left out the debate. It was they tried to make it Lampard, Gerrard, De Bruyne, and they asked me what would I rank, and I said De Bruyne, Scholes, Gerrard. I switched it up on them. I brought my own player in there.
Yeah, rightly so. He should be in that conversation.
So
I mean, Wenger never rebuilt. Fergie rebuilt 3 times minimum.
Yeah, Hamza said it best. He said, "You've never defended your title. That takes you out of any goal."
Word. They've never defended their title. Never, right? So their best season was 1 season. Their best time was 1 season, right? They couldn't even defend that. And as for points, like the perfect question to ask an Arsenal fan right now is what's more important? Points or being unbeaten? And they will all tell you points. Yeah? Because if they say unbeaten, they ain't unbeaten. We are. They're not. Right? So they will say points. Well, in that case, Manchester City have got 100 points before. We've got 98 points before.
99 as well.
99 before. Arsenal have never got those points. They've been unbeaten, but when they were unbeaten, they weren't anywhere near 98, 99 or 100 points. So they have to now, oh no, points mean more. But they didn't then. So it's just they just, for me, I respect what they did, being invincible. But again, it's not sustainable. Clearly, it wasn't sustainable. They did it once. They didn't defend. They didn't do a double. They didn't do a treble. It's not even. I mean, if they want to talk about that one season was good. But again, is that one season as good as a season when Man United did a treble? Man United did a treble and a three-peat, the same squad, right? And they think Wenger was better than Fergie. Nah, mate.
Nah, like I said the only person that sits at the table with Ferguson is Pep, obviously.
I do not believe there is any other fan apart from an Arsenal fan that would believe that Wenger is better than Fergie. And I'm a City fan. Look, I prefer Arsenal to Man United.
Yeah, obviously.
But
speaking of
Fergie's
invincible,
the best man. Fergie. I mean, there's good conversations. There's conversations that are relevant, like Pep, Fergie.
I mean, for Fergie versus Pep, last one, my thoughts on that. I said Pep is the greatest manager, like coach. Tactically, he wipes Ferguson on the floor. It's not even a debate. But
you look,
Ferguson,
you look
at the way Ferguson just he got men behind him. That's all.
100%, and he rebuilt 3. Look at Klopp right now.
And they compare Klopp to Fergie. People said that Klopp was the closest thing to Fergie. I think Pep is more like Fergie than people thought in terms of rebuilding
and going again and rebuilding and going again. Fergie did it 3 times, man. 3 times minimum rebuilt his squad, right? Klopp's struggling to do it once. I can't
get James Milner out of his squad.
I keep asking Hassam every week on Matisse's show, and I've said I'm going to stop asking you, Hassam, but all last year I just constantly faced who's better, Pep or Klopp? And I'll be like, I don't want to have this conversation. No, you don't want to, because it's not even a debate. It's so clearly Klopp. Now these same people are saying Klopp's to blame. So I'm like, who's better? Oh, why do you keep asking me that question? because you did last season. But now you don't want to have that conversation, do you? Like,
Yeah.
it's just. And recently I've been told, oh, Daps, you should be talking more smack to Liverpool fans, to United fans, to this fan, to that fan. I'm like, I'll do the same as I do every damn season, right? Come and speak to me in May. And I'll put anyone through a week of hell in May when the season is done. I ain't going to do it now. What? Anyway.
One last question,
Yeah.
because you are technically invincible. If you do get away at Anfield without a loss, do you go invincible this year? Because that is your toughest test away.
Do you know what? It would be beautiful to be in a title race with Arsenal and win the league over them and do it invincibly.
Because if you do go invincible, then and you do the 3-peat, because that
They've never done a double. Yeah, there's so many things that we could. I mean,
there's serious combos to be had. Because then you're
right
already
now
at the table with us. But if you win the 3-peat and you do invincible while doing the 3-peat, that's something that we never done. Obviously, we never won it.
Yeah.
Never even
See,
got close.
this is the thing, because everyone's focusing on City have to win the Champions League this season.
It's a 3-peat.
But to City fans, we're like, yo, we could do a 3-peat this season. Yeah. No other team. You're the only other team that have done it, innit?
Yeah.
So no other fans want to talk about that. Liverpool definitely don't want to. Liverpool want to say if we don't do the Champions League, it's been a flop of a season, right? Arsenal fans will probably end up saying if we don't go invincible, it's a flop of a season or something, yeah. But that's because people will pick what they haven't done, what they've done, right? The 3-peat is something that Arsenal and Liverpool can't remotely get close to. They haven't even retained it. So
Chelsea's the closest team that got to it, because they held it once.
I just think at the moment, like I think something that's very important is when you look at eras, you look at how many trophies were won. There's different things, like we've done if you think about it, we did 100 points one season, we did 98 points the next season.
Domestic treble in that year.
So we did 100 points double, 98 points treble. That's huge. That's massive. Like that. It's not as big as Man United doing a 3-peat and a treble, European treble. It's not. And the other day, me, Grizz, and Double A had this conversation. And when it got to talking about what Man United had done, I just kind of had to. I kind of just had to say I don't want to say, but I'm sure you can tell who I think has the best team of all time. Because for me, I will say it now. To do a 3-peat and a European treble, there's nothing better than that.
I think Culture Cam's did a video on this on his channel. He's like, what is the most dominant era? And he brought up the Chelsea era where they had the 15 goals conceded, Arsenal, their invincible era, United treble, and then your guys, the 100-point, the Centurions, like the last 5 years. And I think Leah said, you guys have been the most dominant era because the way you wipe the floor with everyone. It's just Man United is most successful because
I think it's Man United first, City second.
Yeah, that's what I said as well. That's what I think.
Because
do a TikTok on
the whole thing you do is straight away you would say, well, Arsenal and Chelsea. The one thing Man United have is while also doing the Premier League, they did the Champions League, right? Arsenal didn't do the Champions League, invincible period.
Chelsea didn't bridge.
Yeah, and Chelsea didn't do the Champions League in their 15 goal period. So then it's between them three. And if you look at what's done, well, City won in a space of 2 years, got 198 points, won 2 Premier Leagues, 2 Carabao Cups, and 1 FA Cup. Neither of the other clubs are coming anywhere near that. So for me, it's mad for me. And that's at the point where I sit here and think back to where I was probably 12 years ago and think, this is fucking mad. This is mad that I'm even having this conversation. We hadn't won a Premier League until 2012. So, yeah.
That's pretty much it, guys. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. We need to get you on Never a Foul again as well.
Yeah.
We do. I'll speak to Cass about sorting that out. We'll get you on in the next week.
Appreciate that. Yeah, sure. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Appreciate it.
Make sure you guys subscribe to Never a Foul as well.
Yeah, please do.
hit 5K, 6K next. I know Cass and Daps have definitely have set the goal for 10K soon, eventually. I know that goal has
7K
definitely
by
been.
Christmas.
There
7K
you
by
go.
Christmas.
I'm sure the World Cup is gonna be fire. I know you have the new studio as well, except for the World Cup, so it's gonna
Yeah.
be good content over
7K
there.
by Christmas is what I'm aiming for.
As for me, um, NBA starting next week, so that's gonna be coming on this channel as well. Basketball's back, thank God. It's not gonna be just football anymore, even though Man United have been on the positive lately. So we'll do that. And TikTok as well. I rattle Catalonians on Wednesday when they're gonna be singing the Whoa Europa League song. I rattle Liverpool fans on Sunday when they hold smoke to Holland. Van Dijk, they're coming for you. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in and peace.
Peace.